magical star beings, this is Psychic Siren Tarot and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at how your rising sign affects your physical appearance. So this is based on astrology. If you don't know about astrology, basically what our rising sign is, it is calculated based on the time we are born. So you need your birth time to calculate your rising sign in astrology. And basically, in essence, you have a birth chart wheel with different houses and signs and different planets with different signs. And this astrology chart is basically influencing your life and influencing how things affect your life. So I would highly suggest, if you don't know your rising sign or you don't know your astrology chart, to go online and to check. So one website I like is astrocharts.com and then Astrology Cafe. So you go on there, you type in all your birth information, the day you were born, the place you were born in, and your birth time. So if you don't have your birth time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to either let you choose intuitively, or you can choose based off your sun sign or Venus sign if you feel intuitively that's what you want to do. So for each pile, we have each element. So for pile number 1, we have the Ace of Wands for all fire risings or fire signs. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. For pile number 2, we have the Ace of Pentacles for all the earth signs or earth risings. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And for pile number 3, we have the Ace of Swords for all air signs, or all air risings. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And for pile 4, we have the Ace of Cups to symbolize all the water signs or water sign risings. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So once you have picked a pile, you can go over to the timestamp linked in the description box below. So in essence, the rising sign affects the way your body looks, affects you as like who you grow into as a person, and it also affects your life's journey. So if you'd like more information on the rising sign, there are plenty of videos of astrologers that explain, how the rising sign affects you and how it influences your physical appearance. So let's get started with your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s, and to all my fire signs, all my fire sign risings, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at how your rising sign and astrology-wise, how this affects your physical appearance. So please be aware and please be reminded this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. So we're going to be using the Light Seers Tarot. For today's reading, I felt the need to only use tarot cards. So Spirit Guides of my pile number 1s. Spirit Guides of my pile number 1s, the fire risings or fire signs, or those that were drawn to the Ace of Wands. May I please take a look at how their rising sign in astrology affects their physical appearance? How does it affect their physical appearance? So let's see how many cards we have here. So we have Justice. We have Strength. Interesting. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Five of Cups. How their rising sign affects their physical appearance for pile 1, please. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the Hierophant. How their rising sign affects their physical appearance. We have the 3 of Cups. We have Death and Rebirth. We have the Devil in the reverse. We have the Chariot. And lastly, we have the Fool. At the back of the deck, we have the Empress. Okay, so how your rising sign affects your physical appearance. Most of you have chose this pile because you have Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in your rising sign, or you have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in your sun sign, or you were just drawn to the Ace of Wands if you don't know your rising sign. So what I'm seeing here about how your rising sign affects your physical appearance, firstly with the Fool, I'm getting that you are going to have a very youthful appearance and look to you in this lifetime, because the Fool is always the start of something new. And when I think of the Fool, it's quite this free-spirited energy, which does make sense because, you know, fire includes Sagittarius, and when we think of Sagittarius, they love freedom. But I think for everyone here, there's something about you having a very youthful appearance throughout your life, even as you grow old. Because I'm seeing here this energy where the Fool is very free-spirited. It's someone that kind of is okay with taking bold leaps of faith or taking bold moves within their life. And the Fool to me is always this new beginning and looking at something you want to do with a childlike hope and a kind of faith in the universe where you haven't yet feared the outcome. Because when I think of children, they're kind of like, they can just do something and not fear an outcome. And that's how I think of the Fool card. And it's not to say that you have or exhibit childish qualities. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you could look at life from a more childlike and free-spirited perception where you're able to take bold leaps of faith, maybe even make bold moves within your life due to your rising sign. Maybe even dress up in a very bold way where you're creatively expressing yourself and not necessarily thinking about what people would think of you or anything like that. And even in your life, bold moves, bold leaps of faith. Okay, so I see you embodying that energy, and I see something here about you needing that sense of freedom within this lifetime, or needing to feel free in a sense where you're able to completely express yourself the way you want. Since the Fool is also the start of something new, I would say, it makes sense because when we think of Aries, Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, and Aries is always the one to start something new. So I feel like you have that type of energy, and how your rising sign influences your physical appearance is you will be that one person that creates something with the Empress at the back of the deck. You are very in touch with your creativity, and you will create certain looks, or you will create certain hairstyles, or even just innovative ideas of yours that you create and bring to reality. It doesn't just have to be in your physical appearance, but we are focusing on that people will kind of see you as a trendsetter. People will see you as someone very innovative, and your ideas are very much like you're the first one that thought of that, and then other people will follow suit and kind of see you as more of a leader. So that's what I'm getting here. So let's say you dye your hair a specific color, then you notice, people are all of a sudden dyeing their hair this color. Or let's say you create a certain fashion style that isn't even a fashion style, and you just put together something very unique because you feel, passionate about it. And I'd say your passion brings, these ideas that kind of make you a trendsetter in your physical appearance due to your rising sign. So when you're passionate about, fashion, beauty, makeup, things like that, for those of you that are, you're going to find that you have a lot of good ideas that no one has ever thought of, where you're the first to execute it and bring it out. And then you're going to notice certain people follow suit and kind of see you in that leadership quality. You may even notice yourself step into a leadership quality in your career or in your life in general, where people kind of follow you or follow what you have to say and view you kind of like a leader. I'm thinking of Beyonce. She was the one that always stood out, and then eventually she went and created her own career. I'm not sure what sign she is, but I'm thinking of that as an example. So there's this energy of you sort of being the first one to create something, or you being that leader, and then even after certain people around you fall away. I'm not talking about friendships, but I'm just saying, even in terms of business, career, opportunities, like if other people fall away from that, it's like you're that one that's still going to be standing strong. What I can say is how this affects your physical appearance is you are going to notice yourself attract a lot more attention because of your rising sign. Because when we think of fire energy, fire is the energy of creation. So you're easily able to create certain looks, easily able to create an energy within you where you attract attention from others, or where you attract certain opportunities you need or want. So you could be influenced by your rising sign to also be very creative in some way with the Ace of Wands that you chose. I'm very passionate about certain things you want to do, and those hobbies you go towards, or those things you are passionate you go towards, are going to bring you more in this rising sign energy, where you become even more the person you're meant to be, if that makes sense. And it does influence your physical appearance, because I'm seeing the more you follow those passions within, the more you're going to notice your physical appearance reflects that. The more you're going to notice people are just drawn to you. People see you as kind of like magnetic, and not just in a way where you're exuding a sensual energy. You definitely are in this pile, but also in a way where people are just very drawn to you in a way. And with the Strength card, I feel like this is Leo energy. So, and we see the cat family. I did see the cat family clairvoyantly before I pulled the cards. So it's a nice confirmation. What I will say about this, some of you could have cat-like features or appearances, where maybe your eyes are a little bit more cat-like, or you have more of this kind of brave look to your face. Because when I think of the cat family, they're very brave and courageous. You could have this very courageous look to your face. When I think of lions, cat family, I also see them as very powerful and strong and confident. So when you step into your true confidence, and not just a confidence of, oh, I like this about myself, but this true confidence where you love yourself regardless of certain flaws you may perceive in yourself, where you love yourself regardless of what you do or don't have, unconditional love for yourself, and this quiet confidence within, where you don't need to scream it out to the whole world, is going to allow you to step more into that fire rising energy, and allow you to step into this energy where you are even more magnetic to the things you want in the future, and where you are completely happy and comfortable with yourself, where it's going to affect your physical appearance in the best way, where I'm seeing your physical appearance bloom. So I'm seeing in this lifetime, it's almost like you're meant to bloom into the version of yourself you're meant to become. You may have not had an easy life or an easy upbringing, in the sense where some of you it's literal, whereas for others of you it has to do with your physical appearance. Maybe some of you, and the reason I say this is because in the beginning of the reading, I saw an animal walking with heavy weights on its back, like someone is making this animal, carry something heavy and carry them, but it's like so heavy on their back that they're struggling to walk. So I take that as, certain emotional baggage, maybe surrounding, maybe being bullied or being criticized about your physical appearance from a young age by those closest to you or by certain people around you. Or maybe you grew up criticizing yourself for this. But I see you going on a journey of letting go of certain insecurities and letting go of certain things you say to yourself that are not meant to be there. And this is not going to resonate with everyone, but for some here, where as you're able to rebirth, that energy within you and heal from maybe things people have said to you or how people treated you when you were younger due to your physical appearance, you're going to notice yourself become a lot more beautiful or handsome, or kind of bloom into your face and become more attractive as you grow into this wisdom, as you bloom into the version of yourself you're meant to be. So I'm seeing this energy here where as you get older and as you gain more wisdom, you're going to notice yourself get even more beautiful or even more handsome, because you are learning more about yourself. You're learning about what you like, what you don't like, because I feel like for you, it's the journey of the self and knowing who you are and loving yourself regardless of opinions of others, also opinions that you have towards you. What I will say about this pile, you may have had certain people project onto you at a young age because some of them were secretly jealous of you. And when you grow older, you're going to notice yourself grow in a sense where you become more happier and therefore you become more attractive. You become more positive about life as you bloom and as you grow and as you heal. And you're going to notice that bring more blessings. But you're also going to see, as you begin to know yourself more and your body type and how the way you look and what looks good on you and what you like to wear, you're going to get more creative with your looks, but you're also going to know what does suit you and what doesn't, and what you feel good and confident in and comfortable in and what doesn't. And that's going to grow you into your beauty or into your handsomeness. Have you ever seen certain people where they have a glow up like 10 years later after school? I feel like this is that pile here where you are going to have glow ups within this lifetime because of that, especially as you follow your higher calling, as you heal, as you bloom into yourself, and as you follow your passions, okay? With the Queen of Swords and Strength mixed together, you could have a very powerful voice due to your rising sign. A very powerful voice that is meant to be heard by others, where people perceive you to be someone that speaks the truth, where people perceive you to be quite motivational and quite inspiring and uplifting in the way that you speak. You could also have your rising sign affect you in the way where some of you could be quite blunt when you speak, and some of you could just have a very strong and powerful voice that people want to hear. And I think some of you it could also affect you in the sense where you learn certain lessons around emotional strength, or you learn certain lessons around, yeah, emotional strength. or something about you being or growing into a very physically strong person in this lifetime. For my men, like maybe you take gym very seriously and you build a lot of muscle due to this. And I think with the Aries energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but I'm thinking of Aries and how Aries is very fast and fiery. Like maybe some of you could, like to run or like to exercise in a very fast-paced way. I'm not saying to do that, but I'm just seeing that as an energy here. And for my men, building a lot of muscle, maybe that could be a goal for you, or that could come easy to you in this lifetime. But like I said, the more confident you are in yourself, the more this will show in your physical appearance. Even if your physical appearance doesn't change, the way people see you and the way you see yourself will, in essence, change. For my women, this could create a strength within you where you become very physically strong, where you focus a lot on your health within this lifetime, or where you are very much like an athletic build, or you focus a lot on sleep, on skincare, your physical health, things like that. Whereas some of you not an athletic build, I'm seeing also like a sensual look to you where even if you're more curvy or more thin, I don't know if I should use that word thin, more petite, there's still like a sensuality you exude within your body. That's what I'm seeing, and about how your rising sign affects your physical appearance. And you're going to notice yourself have a lot of friendships surrounding you where they're very inspired by you and where you like to speak a lot to each other with passionate speaking, and where maybe they give you also some motivation or inspiration in some way. So with the Three of Wands, you're going to notice, because of your rising sign, that you have big goals and big dreams and big visions you want to express to the world and follow. But with the Four of Cups, at first it may seem a little bit, and the Five of Cups, a little bit disappointing. Like, is it ever going to happen? Seven of Cups also reminds me of like big dreams. So this big vision may seem so big that it's like, how do I even reach that? But as you take steps towards that, you're going to notice yourself take certain leaps of faith within this lifetime, or little leaps of faith where you take baby steps towards your goals and your desires and your dreams. And you're going to notice that transform in a very fast way with a Chariot. And it's going to transform even more the more you heal yourself and the more you bloom and the more lessons you learn and the more wisdom you learn. So what I'm seeing here is this type of energy where you have certain lessons you're going to learn within this lifetime. But if you're able to learn those lessons and surrender to them and trust in the universe almost, then you're going to notice those dreams are created a lot sooner. Does that make sense? So with the Chariot, there may be travel within this lifetime. You may be quite tanned within this lifetime, or a more darker skin complexion, because I'm thinking of the sun and fire. You may be a very quick walker, is what I'm picking up on, or very quick to do things. And you may have a very gorgeous or handsome smile within this lifetime, especially after you heal and gain more wisdom and grow up to be the person you are. I see you learning a lot of hidden knowledge within this lifetime, is something I'm definitely seeing. So I will say your rising sign could affect you in a way where you may not like boring or predictable routines. So for you, it's important to spice things up. And in your romantic life, you may notice things are a lot more spicier and passionate with the people you do end up with, or the person you do end up with. You could have very attractive eyes or smoldering eyes within this lifetime that people think you are almost like flirting with them. I'm picking up on a high sensuality within this pile. And I'm picking up from my women here, if you ever have children or if you have had children within this lifetime, something after giving birth, you gain more beauty or more handsomeness. And you age gracefully in this lifetime. If you take care of yourself, of course. And if you were to use that energy of the fire energy to your advantage, gymming, exercising, keeping yourself healthy, and moving your body around, because fire doesn't like stagnancy, fire likes to move around. In my mind, in my opinion, I don't know if that's a fact, then something about that can influence your physical appearance in the best possible way. You may notice yourself have rosy cheeks within this lifetime, or like a pinkness to your face for some of you. I know that it's not going to resonate with everyone, but that's something I see. Or you may notice yourself tan easily or have freckles or something like that. For my Leo risings especially, you may notice yourself have a signature hair where people remember you for your hair. Like that unique type of hairstyle or hair in general. And I think overall just a creative sense of style and fashion and beauty and things like that. And some of you may have interest in that within this lifetime. Okay, so this is what I have for you, Pile 1. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number 2s. You start your reading off at 111 on the clock. If you chose the Ace of Pentacles intuitively, or if you are an Earth rising or an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at how your rising sign in astrology affects your physical appearance. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. So I decided today we're just going to use tarot cards. So we're using the Light Seers Tarot. So spirit guides of my pile number 2 for the Earth risings or the Earth signs, so those that were intuitively drawn to pile 2 in the Ace of Pentacles. May we please look into how their rising sign affects their physical appearance. How does their rising sign affect their physical appearance? How does their rising sign affect their physical appearance? Let's just see how many cards we have so far. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Star. Interesting. We have the Six of Pentacles. This is starting to make sense because I know some Earth risings. I'm already seeing a story here. We have the Four of Wands. We have the Five of Cups. We have Justice. We have the Two of Pentacles. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Magician. I like the storyline I'm seeing. We have the Empress. Some more cards for how their rising sign affects their physical appearance. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Moon. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the King of Cups. And we have the Page of Wands. At the back of the deck, we have the Hermit. So, how your rising sign affects your physical appearance. For my Earth risings or Earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, or the people that were drawn to Ace of Pentacles. So how does this affect your appearance? Okay, so what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing some of you could have a physical appearance that is very earthy, of course, that kind of reminds people of Earth, where you could have a very down-to-earth look to you. You could have a very friendly and very like approachable face where people instantly trust you. People instantly think of you as a loyal friend or very loyal when they first meet you. And you give off this very trustworthy presence from your face. Some of you, though, could have a little bit of a serious face, though. Even when you're not serious, like you could have a little bit of a serious face where people are wondering, like, are you okay? Are you mad? And then you're like, no, no. And then maybe they talk to you and then you'll smile more. I don't know. But that's something I'm picking up for some of you. I'm seeing that the more you work on your physical approach to your life and to your body, the more that changes. And let me explain what I see here. So I see you going through kind of like a storyline here. Let me explain the storyline, and it relates to your physical appearance. I'm not going off topic. So we have the Nine of Wands with the first card and the star. So I feel like some of you could have grown up with certain challenges surrounding money when you grew up. And it makes sense to me because I know some Earth risings that grew up not having a lot, but later on in their life, they find that they make a lot of money, or they grow their finances in a very like wow way, in a very magical way. Okay, so something about certain challenges surrounding finances growing up for some of you, or surrounding stability or emotional stability. Okay, and the reason why emotions are coming up, I'll mention it in a bit. It relates to the reading. So something about that is coming through. And I feel like as you go on into your life, you maybe learn more knowledge surrounding money and stability from these challenges and certain lessons surrounding these challenges. And you're being tested to hope more, to dream more, to trust that the universe can change and bring you these generous opportunities that make you celebrate. Okay, but one thing I'll say about you is it's not just going to be brought to you, you have to go out there and create it. And for you, I think patience is something that is also being tested within this lifetime. And, you know, your not determination, but consistency and how much faith you have even in the unknown. And I'll explain why that is in a bit. So even though you're earth signs, there's something here about a connection to the unknown. I'll explain in a bit. Okay, so you may have had certain disappointments around this with the Five of Cups growing up, but you'll find that as you grow into your life, you're going to find that those lessons or those hardships really taught you a lot surrounding stability, surrounding money, really helped you appreciate money or stability in some way. Certain challenges around the physical in the beginning of your life. Okay, so what I'm seeing here after that is you begin to learn the truth about what stability means to you with the Two of Pentacles and Justice. And as you begin to learn the truth of what stability means to you, you start to create it within your own life with the Magician. You start to take that knowledge and all those lessons you've learned and create it and birth it into your reality until it becomes something physical. So the reason why I'm seeing this connection to earth and to the unknown is because I'm almost seeing it like before a baby is born, right? The baby is born in a physical way, and it's not something that we necessarily consider as magical. But when we actually look at it, like with the Empress card and the energies and these cycles of life and death, we're actually spiritual beings living in physical bodies. So when you think about it, it's like Spirit is showing me, how a baby will be around the mother's womb even before she gets impregnated sometimes. And sometimes what I've seen in my personal experience with readings, this is not a fact, just my own opinion, is sometimes these baby spirits will be around the mother maybe even years before they're born, learning from the mother. Even if she chooses not to have children, they're still around her, or they'll incarnate as pets or something. But going back to topic here, what happens is the baby spirit is usually around the mother and in the mother's energy field before she gives birth and comes in and out. And then, she kind of channels her baby through the spirit essence into her womb space. And I'm seeing it almost like we're pulling the soul out of the stars or out of the astral realms, metaphorically, out of those realms, and the mother's womb is a portal. And then she creates the baby in her stomach, and then she gives physical birth to the baby. And think of the womb. The womb is water, so that's where we first grow up in, right? And almost think of a seed, right? When a seed is planted, it's planted into the earth, and then we have to water that plant in order for it to grow. So I'm seeing it like this, a mother gives birth to a physical baby, but she is the portal, she is the vessel between the spiritual realms and the physical realms. And that's why we see this connection to spirituality and the unknown in your earth pile. And that's the energies of life and death and rebirth. And you get what I mean? Birth. And when we think of death, your body goes into the earth, into the ground, but then you go back to the heavens or to the spiritual realms or whatever you believe in. So there's a connection between the earth and the spiritual realms more than we actually realize in the Earth Risings pile, which is quite interesting to me. And then when we think of a seed, when we plant it, we have to water it first. We have to water that plant in order for it to grow. So I see this connection for you to your emotions in this lifetime. And some of you may have a tendency to focus more on your physical life because you are Earth Risings. Maybe that's where your focus lies mostly within this lifetime. But you are being urged to also not neglect your emotional side because, like I said, in order for a plant to grow, we have to water it. And think of water as your emotions. So in order for you to bloom, we need to water you. You need to water yourself and be there for yourself and take care of your emotional, physical side and have balance between the both so that you can bloom. Okay, so I've seen this energy where if you really water yourself, if you really take care of yourself in the physical, in the emotional, in the spiritual, you're going to bloom within this lifetime in the most beautiful way. But you may also experience certain cycles in your lifetime. Just like how we see Earth has winter, summer, and then in winter the leaves fall off. So you may go through certain cycles in your life when it comes to the physical, and accepting those cycles of rebirth and knowing that everything that goes to the top always comes down, and everything that goes down always goes to the top. I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune in my mind's eye, and how sometimes, when you're at the top, doesn't mean you're always going to be there, but even when you're at the bottom, you're going to go to the top again. So it's like certain cycles of acceptance around your physical. So what do I mean by this? Let's say sometimes in your life, you may have certain situations where it affects your stability, where maybe you need to save more. And it's not to say you're doing bad, but maybe it's teaching you some kind of lesson around not needing to hold on to the physical. Although your earth sign risings, it's like there's certain lessons around attachment to the physical, attachment to the body, attachment to money, things like that. So I see certain lessons around that, and learning to appreciate it, but also detach from it, where you realize that is just what we have right now, but it's not forever. So how does like the storyline affect your physical appearance? So what I see here with what I mentioned about water and the emotions and all those things is, when you heal certain wounds around your emotions, you're going to notice you start to physically feel healthier, because what does the body do? The body holds on to emotions. So you're going to physically feel healthier as you heal, and as you also nurture that emotional side of you and water yourself so that you can bloom. And that goes hand in hand with needing to focus on building your physical health. So doing it consistently, where you are eating healthy, where you are drinking enough water, where you are sleeping well enough, where you're taking care of your mental health too. So something about you being very healthy in this lifetime. I feel like you are the signs that can maybe live quite, like where you live till old age and can stay quite healthy if you really take care of your physical health. So that's a plus side I see to your physical appearance. I also see this energy where in your physical appearance, the storyline affects it. So something about you maybe having more of an expensive taste in clothing, in styles, in the things you want to do. So, for example, maybe you need some money to join a gym membership. So, in order to maybe join that gym membership, you'd need to create money. But of course, we can also run outside. But I'm just thinking of like that. Or maybe you want to do skincare and keep your skin really healthy in this lifetime. But I feel like the earth risings in this pile, since we have the Empress and the King of Pentacles, have more of a luxurious taste within what they use on their body. So you may notice yourself in this lifetime invest in, skincare, or invest in gym equipment, or invest in, healthy foods, even if it costs more. I don't know, in some countries, healthy food costs more. And something about also investing your money can really help you. And then the more you invest your money, the more your money is going to grow, because something about that comes through in this pile. And then it's going to affect your physical appearance, because like I said, you have more of a need for a luxurious lifestyle. But it's not to say that you're spending money unnecessarily in this lifetime. I would actually advise against that. Sure, you can spoil yourself, but I think for this pile, there's certain lessons around attachment to money. So there's something about like how money affects your physical appearance. And when I think of this, it also makes me think, like maybe you have more of a need for clothes that are good quality rather than fast fashion or clothes that just are going to come and go fast and break very fast because it's not good quality and you paid cheap for it. So something about your money affects your physical appearance. And I'd say while you are working towards creating money in your life, it's also important to focus on your health and not neglect it so that it's in balance. Okay, so it's not to say anything bad would happen, but I'm just saying that's an important thing for you to have that balance there. Because like a flower needs to grow in good soil, you need to grow in a good environment and give yourself that good environment to grow. And something about your home too. Maybe you have more of a need for cleanliness in your home, or more of a need for minimalism in your home, or a nice home that you can work in if you work at home, or a nice office space you can work in. There's something about that too. And then it's going to affect your physical appearance. You know why? Because for you, I'm seeing some emotional things affect your physical appearance. Some of your environment affects your physical appearance. So I'm seeing like for this pile, if you are around nature a lot, and if you have more of a life that is more at peace, more slow and steady, and without worry and without being too stressed, you're going to notice yourself age gracefully, and you're going to notice this pile can live for many, many, many years. Based on your astrology. That's just what I'm reading from the cards and the energy. But I'm seeing like if you are around nature a lot, it can ground and calm you and help you age slower. Or if you just are in that very calm and grounded mindset most of your life, you're going to notice you age slower. I'm also feeling like this pile has a lot of physical beauty, especially the more you invest in yourself, your clothing, the things that are important to you, to your physical, then you're going to notice yourself feel good about yourself, feel more confident in yourself in a way, and feel like you are blooming. And it's like the money you invest in yourself actually takes you a long way, because it's like it's giving love to yourself when you spend on things that are important for you, if that makes sense. Like spending on your education or spending on your family. You're using your hard-earned money to give to your family. Do you get what I mean? Or spending on a gym membership. I'm not saying to spend all your money, but something about you investing money in yourself that helps you grow is going to influence your physical appearance in the best possible way. For this pile, I feel like if you're a mother or if you're a woman that wants children, childbirth is going to be very easy for you. And I say that with a grain of salt because I think it's different for everyone. But that's if you have a good support system while you are pregnant, or and that you're healthy while you're pregnant. I feel like you won't I'm not saying you'll bounce back fast after pregnancy, but there's something about if you take care of your health and you're still moving around after pregnancy and during pregnancy, if it's possible, then you're going to notice you can sort of bring your body back to its natural state. Maybe not the way it was before, but still feel good about your body in some way. So like if I had to explain this in example, a woman gets pregnant and after that she after a few months she's back to how her body looked before, and she still looks very, very good. You know what I mean? Like her body. So I'm seeing something about that. I feel like this pile exudes a lot of sensuality within your physical appearance. You also have this energy where the more generous you are to others, the more it's going to show in your physical appearance and beauty, and also the more it's going to show in your money, but not generosity where you're giving everything away. So I think for this pile, it's important to have balance. And I think for this pile, there's something around balance, around having fun, and around working. So balance is important. Why is that? Okay, so Spirit is showing me, you know how like too much of one thing can be negative to Earth? Like, for certain plants where there's too much cold, it can't grow properly. It's like that with you. Like, extremes are not good for your pile, okay? I think with the Magician and the Empress, as you grow older and as you grow into who you are and learn more about what feels good on you, like when you're wearing clothing, I'm seeing you wear clothes that feel good on you, where the texture feels good. Because when I think of Taurus, they're very much in touch with their senses. Like, for example, I'm seeing a woman here go to bed and wear silk pajamas because it feels good on her and she's investing in that. And then she's going to notice herself feel a lot calmer, and then therefore creating an energy where she exudes a lot more beauty. Does that make sense? Or something along those lines, where the more you create this energy where you're kind of like spoiling yourself and doing things for yourself for self-love, like, I don't know, going to the gym, then that's creating more beauty or more handsomeness for yourself and your physical appearance, if that makes sense. Yeah, this pile definitely exudes a lot of sensuality, but in a very controlled way. I think this pile, how your rising sign affects your physical appearance, is you may walk a little bit slower, like more slow and steady, or you may be a little bit more focused when you walk. You may be very focused on the physical, like building up the physical in terms of your body and your facial appearance and everything. This pile may have very healthy hair due to their rising sign, where it influences you to have healthier hair if you really take care of yourself. Also, a lot of intelligence too. So for this pile, there's something about your body able to withstand longer periods of time. So I'm not saying to do this, but like, let's just say hypothetically, you were in a place where there was no food or no water. It's almost like your body can go longer than the average person. I don't know what that's about, but that's how your rising sign affects your physical body. I feel for you, it's a lot about the body rather than the appearance, and the way you treat your body affects your physical appearance, if that makes sense, for the earth signs here. You may also have a very balanced and intelligent way of speaking, where it's very balanced and stable, where the more knowledge you accumulate and acquire and grow into, the more people are going to hear it through your voice. You have that type of voice where people kind of see you as a boss. Pile number one was different. It was more leadership and inspiring. Yours is like people kind of see you as a boss, even if you're not a boss. Does that make sense? And I feel like this pile, even if you invest in more makeup that is like healthier for your skin and things like that, it affects your skin. So for this pile, Spirit is more so giving me like how it affects your physical body, but then how you take care of your physical body affects your physical appearance. Does that make sense? Because you're earth. Okay, so I'm seeing in your physical body, you may be a little bit more tall or short. For my women, it's like I'm seeing more of a body that allows nature to develop within you. What do I mean by this? So for my woman, I'm seeing maybe it doesn't mean you're overly curvy, but I'm seeing like a body where you're able to sustain birth if that's what you want. Like maybe your hips are a little bit wider, for example. Or for my men, I'm seeing it in a different way where you're like, I'm taken back to ancestors and how our ancestors used to hunt. Like maybe you'd have more of that type of body that would be able to go on marathons, that would be able to hunt. I don't know how to describe that, but I hope that makes sense. I'm seeing more like built bodies, not necessarily too muscular, or too thin, but like built in some way where your body is sturdy and strong. And I'm seeing a diamond. So like whatever pressure is put onto you in this lifetime turns you into a diamond as you age into your beauty. And I think like peace is very important for you because being at peace and being grounded and getting rid of stress influences your physical appearance. That's what I keep seeing. This pile may have softer skin than the average person. And if you work really hard, like your hands may be a little bit rough, but then it shows your hard work through that, if that makes sense. And it's like your body is literally thanking you when you eat like vegetables and fruit. That's what I see. I know I'm sounding a little bit like a broken record. I'm trying to get new messages here, but Spirit keeps giving me the same messages again and again and again. Something also about your metabolism being healthy if you take care of your body. So for this pile, I think the emphasis is taking care of your body, and then that beauty and that handsomeness naturally comes. So this was your reading, pile 2. Sorry if this was so like that. I didn't mean for it to be. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number 3s. If you chose this Ace of Swords intuitively, or if you are an air sign or air rising, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at how your rising sign in astrology affects your physical appearance. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. We're going to be using the Light Seers Tarot for you. So I felt like just using tarot cards today. So we have the 10 of Cups already. Okay, so spirit guides on my pile number 3s, or for the air risings or air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. May I please look into how their rising sign in astrology affects their physical appearance? So we have the 8 of Wands. We have the 7 of Swords. We have the Sun. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the 9 of Swords. We have Death and Rebirth. We have 3 of Cups. How their rising sign affects their physical appearance. We have the 2 of Swords. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Wands. Interesting. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Pentacles. And at the back of the deck, we have the High Priestess. So this pile has chose air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or if you are an air sign or air rising. I'm seeing people think that you have this type of appearance to you where it looks like you have a lot of creative ideas, where it looks like you are a very fun and happy-go-lucky person, very free-spirited in some way. And I'm seeing like this pile kind of has that energy to them where they are here, there, and everywhere, like the wind. I'm thinking of wind and how wind is everywhere. So I'm feeling like this pile and Gemini energy too can like switch between two things. So I feel in your physical appearance, you would be that one pile of people that can pull off two completely different looks and still look good in it, whereas another person can't. Or you can wear this color and still look good, and even wear quote unquote mismatched clothes and still pull it off in a way. I feel like this pile has really good ideas when it comes to fashion and styles, similar to the fire pile, but yours in a way comes through more intelligent and more knowledgeable. Like, I'm using my physical knowledge on how to do this. So let's say for some of you, researching on fashion and makeup and things like that and body types and what looks good, you can really dress a person well or dress yourself well by having that knowledge surrounding that. Or just kind of experimenting and going with the flow as well. You can find that a lot of creativity comes out in that way and then leads to more knowledge in terms of what looks good on you and what you feel good in. I'd say that this pile looks like a very flowy and free-spirited person, and you look very smart and intelligent from your look. That's the vibe people get from you. Or it looks like you think a lot or you stay very focused. Though I'd say sometimes you can look a little bit worried if you're in your head a lot or if you're worrying a lot. So I'd say you're learning certain lessons surrounding worry and surrounding overthinking. It kind of takes away your happiness in this pile. And you know how they say worry creates stress and stress creates wrinkles? Like, I think for that pile, this pile, like, this is something to be careful of. And I can probably relate because I'm an air sign in my sun sign. So I sometimes tend to overthink a lot. So I think for this pile, you're learning lessons on how to rebirth that overthinking and turn it into more compassion towards yourself, and turn that into an energy where you take that and you turn it into imagination to flow more, to choose to be more grounded. It's like in this lifetime you need that grounded energy. You need to almost like pull yourself back into the earth and ground back into the earth to not be too much in your mind, because I think this pile is very intelligent because of your rising sign. It makes you a very intelligent person with an amazing mind, but there is a tendency to overthink, and overthinking keeps you stuck in cycles where you're not present in the moment. So I think that can affect your physical appearance in a way where it looks like you have a lot on your mind, where it looks like you're quite stressed out. So be careful of that and really ground, so that when you are grounded, I see you looking a lot more calm, peaceful, and flowy. So I see this pile being the types of people that maybe are very active in a way where you are always doing things or have your schedule full of things to do for the day. You may have your rising sign influence you in a way where you constantly want to be doing things and keeping yourself busy, kind of like Gemini energy I'm thinking of. And I'm thinking like your pile looks very fun in a way. very free-spirited in the way that you don't take life too seriously, that you don't care too much about the little things, um, about things that are just not worth your time and energy. So that's the look you kind of give off. You could be a little bit more free in your look, like dye your hair different colors, wear a little bit more of a creative style that is unique to you. I'd say in your physical appearance, it can be affected by who you are, because I'm seeing this pile of people. It's like you're very much in your authentic self, in your look. So you're very much comfortable with that. So if you want to dress in a more edgy way or in a more alternative way, you can. Or if you want to dress in this way or this way, like I'm looking at this woman here and I'm thinking of that. So even dyeing your hair red and different colors or cutting your hair short, like I feel like this pile is very experimental with their look and doesn't really mind change in that sense, or constant change in that sense, because I feel like air, you're always flowing to something new and different based on what's currently happening and how your mind is working in that sense. What do I mean by that? So I feel like because you're showing up as air, you kind of flow to where you're needed to go. Just like when we look at air, air can't stay stagnant in one place. Otherwise, the air gets stuffy. Think of when you're in your home and you haven't like opened up the windows for the whole day. The air kind of gets stuffy. The air needs to move around. So I'd say for your pile, it's like you're constantly changing and evolving your look because it needs to move around as to where it is in its current state. So, for example, let's say right now you are going through a phase in your life where you're becoming more bold and courageous and following more of your passion. Maybe you would dye your hair red or buy a red wig or wear more red, but you don't realize that your intuition is taking you there because of it. Because I see air kind of like connected to spirit in a way where you're intuitive, but it comes through ideas in your mind without you realizing it. Or let's say you are in a phase right now of your life where you're feeling the need to maybe focus on your health more and exercise more. So then you do that, and then maybe that's what you needed in that moment. Or maybe you're in a phase of your life where you're feeling more happy, so maybe you wear more vibrant looks. And intuitively, that's what you feel like doing, so that's where you go. So I feel like this pile doesn't need restriction of, like, I'm supposed to look this way and this is my identity. I think this pile shouldn't feel the need to put yourself in the box, or you shouldn't let other people put you in a box of how you express yourself. And just because you wore this yesterday doesn't mean that's, part of your identity forever, because you're always changing and flowing and moving to new places. Does that make sense? So, I also feel this pile needs a little bit more freedom in that sense to express themselves. And yeah, that's what I'm getting here. Even in ways that can be a little bit more quirky. I feel like you could get away with being a little bit more quirky in your fashion style and the way that you dress and everything like that. There's something about your voice coming through very free, and your voice coming through very, very much like intelligent, and as if you think a lot, as if you study yourself or people a lot, as if you understand how the human mind works. That's how your voice comes through. And it comes through in a very flowy way, like birds, free like birds. Like it can change and switch and change, like flow and change. That's what I'm getting from this pile. You could notice yourself be very light. What do I mean by this? I'm just hearing the word light, so maybe that could mean your physical appearance, skin tone could be lighter, or even if you have a dark skin tone, it could be lighter than that of your race. That's not going to resonate with everyone, or light in the sense of weight. Like you could be more light in the sense of weight, and that doesn't mean like how your body looks, but maybe when someone carries you, it's like you're lighter. And I feel like this pile would really do well with expressing their energy out to the world through like dance or through things like that that keep your body moving and keep your body flowing. I'd say for this pile, not to keep stuck or stagnant in one place, especially your body, to find new things that inspire you. Like, let's say today you want to go shopping and you're walking around in the mall for hours, like that's getting your body moving. Or let's say today you feel the need to go swimming. Or let's say tomorrow you feel the need to walk around the block, then do that. Like, even if you change up your exercise regimen a lot, like I feel like sometimes that can be useful for this pile, because like I said, I feel like this pile doesn't like to stay in one place, or doesn't like strict routines all the time, or things feeling like restricted in some way. So this pile has that type of physical appearance, like I said, that looks very happy-go-lucky, that looks very free. This pile also has a physical appearance that looks very loving, and looks like you're a good friend. Like when people meet you, I think because of your energy and your vibe and the way you look, it's like people trust you very easily and want to become your friend. And you may either speak in a very fast way, or you may just like have an exciting way of speaking where people want to get to know you. This pile could have a lot of sexiness in their physical appearance, since you're showing up as the Queen of Wands. You could be very magnetic in the sense where your physical appearance makes others very drawn to you and want to talk to you and create some kind of connection with you, whether it's friendship, romantic, anything at all. It's like people see you as very fun and outgoing to be around. But I'd also say this pile has a very friendly and approachable, down to earth face, where you look very good, but you also look very humble at the same time. And you could have and switch between ways of walking and ways of talking and things like that. That's what I'm picking up on a lot. This pile could also be more free with expressing themselves through tattoos, through nose piercings, piercings in general, through color, things that other signs wouldn't necessarily wear out of fear. So this pile could be a little bit more courageous in that sense, and a little bit more independent when it comes to your physical appearance. Like, let's say today you want to do something like dye your hair. You're not going to ask for people's opinions per se, but you're just going to go and do it yourself. Does that make sense? This pile could have a longer neck because air is also communication. That's what I'm getting. And something about you being around wind is actually healthy for your face and your skin, or around fresh air. I'd say this pile of people could have longer noses than the average person, or it's pointed in some way, even if it's not long, and it could be more rounded at the tip or more sharp at the tip. And more defined jawlines, more defined and prominent jawlines, but also like a mixture of energies within your face. So like a mixture of sharp features and a mixture of soft features. It's giving me that vibe. So in terms of everything else I see here, I see something about long eyelashes too, and strong breath. Like you can breathe deeply. And I don't know why I'm seeing like kids here. Like maybe when you were a kid, You could breathe underwater for longer. I mean, hold your breath for longer. So I'd say this pile is the thing coming through the most about physical appearance is that authenticness and that free spiritedness. So everything else I see here in terms of your rising sign is that, like I said, you learn certain lessons around worries and stresses, and in turn, that causes you to rebirth the way you view your mind and the way you view your worries and the way you view your anxieties. And I see you learning to be more compassionate to yourself in that sense. I'd say this pile, as you begin to be more compassionate to yourself and as you begin to understand the way your mind works a lot, this pile may go into a lot of research on mental health, on how to improve your mental health, or on how to really take care of your mind in that sense. And I see you later on in your life surrounding yourself with people, places, situations, environments that bring peace, calm, and a grounded energy. You don't need that energy around you that makes you worry or stress. And that's what I'd say for this pile. And the more you're in that, the more you're going to notice yourself age gracefully. I don't know why I'm seeing that in all three piles, like messages on how to age gracefully for your sign. Very interesting. And something about happiness and joy keeping you looking vibrant and healthy and good, if that makes sense. And like with this pile, sometimes your mood or your emotions can change the way you look or the way you're thinking about yourself or the way you're thinking in general. So like I'm getting here, maybe you're in a really let's say you're going through a phase where you're feeling really negative about yourself and telling yourself negative things and just thinking negative things about yourself. You're going to notice that you may not feel as good or as vibrant as you used to, or you don't feel the same when you look in the mirror or don't look the same when you look in the mirror. And it's like, when you're around certain people that make you worry or stress, and then you look in the mirror and it's almost like you notice yourself almost like looking more dull. So, like, I've seen that in my own face sometimes when I've surrounded myself around certain people. So, that's something that affects you, and like conversations had around you affects your physical appearance. But when you really are in a state where you're thinking really positive thoughts and you're thinking thoughts that help improve your life and help you grow and help you feel more happy and positive in your daily life, the more you're going to feel vibrant, the more you're going to feel healthy, the way your skin looks, and you're going to notice more of a glow to it. So I'm seeing also there's a stage some of you go through within your life where you're a little bit more alone, where you don't necessarily have people around you, and it's like a lesson where you almost learn independence for some of you, and that independence creates more of this energy where you're able to do certain things by yourself and not necessarily need anyone's opinion on it. And then it's like you create more of your passions to come to life. And then when you create that, you're going to notice then people surround you again. For some of you, I'm seeing that. And I think for this pile, be careful of having too much fun in the sense of, um, I'd say this pile could have a little bit of a sense of addictive tendencies. So be careful of having too much fun in the sense of it doesn't have to be an addiction to something per se, like a substance. It could be like being on your phone too much and getting addicted to it. Or it could be not taking things too seriously in your life. And then just going out a lot and spending your money a lot. Something along those lines can affect you. So that's just something I'd say to be careful of. It's not to say you are going to go through that, but I'm just reading the energy of what to be wary of. So this is all I have for you. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! pile number 4s, all my water signs, all my water sign risings, depending on if you were drawn to the Ace of Cups intuitively, if you don't know your rising sign, or if you are choosing this pile based on you being a water sign sun or rising. So hi to all the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. If you pick this pile, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at how your rising sign in astrology affects your physical appearance. So please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. So what's funny is we're doing the water pile. And as soon as I wanted to start now, I felt the need to drink water. So I feel like in your life, something about you staying hydrated could affect your physical appearance. Like, I think if you're very hydrated and you make sure you drink enough water, it could create this look within you where you look more hydrated and soft and, like more healthy the more hydrated you are, but not to take it in excess, of course, but just that is coming through. And something about being around bodies of water or something like that regularly, or taking self-care baths, could be good for your physical appearance in the sense of, I think bodies of waters could naturally calm you down, being around the ocean or rivers, or even just taking daily spiritual baths to cleanse your energy, because I feel this pile is very empathic to certain spiritual energies. So the way you take care of yourself in that sense, by giving yourself self-care and giving yourself that state where you can just flow and feel at peace, feel is the key word, then that is going to influence your physical appearance to look more healthier in that sense. Spirit is showing me Billie Eilish for some reason. I don't know what sign she is, but Spirit is showing me her. And when I think of her music, she lets out a lot of her feelings through that and expresses it, in my opinion. Well, I don't really listen to all her songs, so if you know like what type of vibe she has in all her songs and like how this could relate to your pile, let me know down in the comments. But maybe something about the voice and self-expression. So maybe you look like a person that speaks in a way through your emotion, or maybe you look like a person that feels things very deeply and expresses that artistically in some way. It makes sense. So I was seeing your pile as Queen of Cups or King of Cups energy. Like, I was seeing the Queen of Cups card with a mermaid tail. So there's something about you having mermaid, merman energy in your physical appearance, and I'll explain what that means in a bit. So spirit guides of pile 3, and I love how, water signs are just so psychic and intuitive, and I'm already picking up on information before I pull the cards. So cool. So spirit guides of my pile number 4s for the water signs, spirit guides on my pile number 4s for the water signs and water risings. May I please pick up on how their rising sign in astrology influences their physical appearance, please? Okay, so we have the Three of Wands, we have Strength, we have the Devil in the reverse, we have the Queen of Cups. Oh my gosh. I love that synchronicity. I'd say your energy feels quite playful, like a dolphin playing around, but also quite wise. And maybe that's how people view your physical appearance based off your rising sign. We have the Six of Cups. Interesting. I already see a storyline here. We have the Star. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We have the Five of Wands. We have the Five of Cups. We have the King of Pentacles. Interesting. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing such a storyline here. Ten of Cups. And I saw that in each pile. It was very cool. We have the Eight of Swords. We have Temperance. And we have Ten of Pentacles. Lastly, Nine of Cups wants to pop out. And at the back of the deck, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So, how your rising sign in astrology affects your physical appearance for my water signs and water risings, and those were intuitively drawn to this pile. So, there's something about people thinking you look quite soft spoken or looking like you have a sweet, nurturing voice, even if you don't. Like, I'm getting that, or looking like you speak with your emotions, with your heart. Looking or having a very beautiful voice that nurtures and soothes people like water. But it can also be very big and intense if they get on your bad side, like sea storms. Though I will say your voice has an expression of emotion to it. Okay, and as I spoke about Queen of Cups, mermaid energy, merman energy too, I feel like for some of you, like in your physical appearances, when you think of a mermaid, they have a curvaceousness to their hips. So you could have, for some of you, my woman, a pear body shape or more like of a mermaidy look to your body. For my men, maybe somewhat similar, but not as much. Like some of you could gain weight in your hips or in that area by your legs. Like I'm seeing that. It's not going to resonate with everyone. But some of you could also look good in clothes that are kind of more flowy, and something about that is coming through, or like mermaid dresses where they have like a bit of a shape to it, like this, like a mermaid. For my men, I guess it would be different. Still like a curve to it, but not too much. There's still like a straightness to it, because I'd say women have more of that curve because of the way our bodies are built, to give birth and everything like that. And I'm being taken back to those days where women used to give birth in water, which is so interesting because the topic of birth came up in the earth sign pile. I'll explain more in a moment. But it's like something about being in water and childbirth is coming through, and like that being so water sign energy. I mean, when we think of Cancer, Cancer is also the home, family, things like that. Interesting. So maybe for you, like if you still want to give birth in this lifetime, something about being near water could be significant for you. But anyways, going back to that mermaid analogy, you could have that type of look or effect to you where you look a little bit like a siren, almost like you're luring someone in. And I want to say the word fierce, like fierce is what I'm getting from the Wolf and the King of Pentacles. And there is a little bit of sensuality here, but in a playful way. But I'd say in your physical appearance, there's a lot of cuteness and sweetness too. I feel like in your physical appearance, due to your rising sign, people see you as quite cute, sweet, and soft. But then you can also embody that energy of intense emotion where it's like kind of an intimidating and dramatic and bold presence where it's like, do not mess with me. I may be sweet and cute, but if you get on my bad side, you're going to bring that sea storm out and you're going to regret it. So I feel like people see you as someone kind of intense, but in a good way. It's not intimidating where they're scared of you per se. It's more so they like your energy. I feel people are very much gravitating towards your energy and towards you and your sweetness and your soft look. I feel like you have a lot of soft facial features, or soft looking eyes, or soft presence. Um, that looks quite trustworthy and sweet. But then it's like people see this other side to you where it's like, I'm not gonna do something to really hurt Pal for his feelings. Otherwise, I know they're gonna show me that they feel that way. So you may look in a sense like you really are comfortable with your emotions and you're really comfortable with expressing them. Especially if someone does you wrong, you're gonna express that distaste for it. Okay, so I'm seeing eyes that take people to another world, eyes that are quite hypnotic. Some of you have more round eyes, and even if you don't, I'm seeing deep set eyes, and it doesn't have to necessarily resonate because I'm channeling for a whole group of people here. But there's something very hypnotic and dreamy about your eyes that take people to another world. And I feel like you have kind of like an ethereal look that is almost like you're not from here, but I wouldn't say it's out of this world. I think Aquarius has more of that out of this world like alien look. For you it's like almost angelic or heavenly or ethereal or mermaidy or like fantasy like or fairy like. That's what I'm more so picking up from this pile in terms of your physical um beauty and handsomeness and attractiveness. Um, and it's like your physical body speaks depth, and the way that you look like a very deep person, and you look like a spiritual person too, is what I'm picking up on. Like people sense a spirituality from the way that you look due to your rising sign. And people also sense that you're someone that probably goes off your emotion, like you make certain decisions based off your emotions. So today, if you're not feeling like going out, you're going to stay in and honor that feeling. Or tomorrow, if you feel very active and you want to go out and see the whole world and share your love in that way, you're going to do that. You're going to honor your emotions. Or let's say when it comes to clothing, you could dress based off the way you feel. Like, okay, today I feel like embodying this energy, so I'm going to dress in this way, and it has meaning to it. Or like your style and aesthetic isn't just a style or aesthetic because it looks nice, it has a specific meaning to it or a specific feeling that you are trying to embody that way, whether it's subconscious or conscious. Okay, and I'm seeing this energy with you where you look like a very wise soul with spiritual knowledge or emotional knowledge and intelligence. And it's not to say that you look um older. I'm just saying you look wise. So you could still look youthful but wise at the same time. So I guess it will just depend on the person watching. But what I will say is hydrating. This is a theme that came up in each pile. Hydrating is going to help your skin stay soft and smooth. Wearing moisturizer, because that moisturizes your skin, is going to help keep your skin soft and smooth even as you grow into an older age. And I will say the way you feel about certain situations can influence the way you physically look. So I see something about your emotions can affect your physical appearance. So let me give an example to my own energy because I see an energy like this playing out in your reading. So with the devil in reverse, I feel like in your younger years, for some of you, the way this may have influenced you, especially the water sign risings, is maybe having certain karmic connections around you where you didn't realize that person is being manipulative, or doing something wrong to you, or being deceiving towards you, or kind of like controlling you in some way, because that's what the devil energy is, or like toxic connections that were maybe around you in your younger years, more karmic connections that disappointed you a lot in your past, and that could affect you in a way where I see your life story kind of goes in an emotional healing journey from that. Emotionally healing from the past, healing the inner child, something about that. And I've noticed that as a theme within all four piles of like themes of things they go through in their life and how it affects their physical appearance, and how you react to that can affect your physical appearance too. So I'm seeing this type of energy where, let's say you went through that and you never healed from it. Maybe that could affect you in a negative way if you were to hold on to those feelings. Because what I see, the story I see here with the devil in reverse, the Queen of Cups and Six of Cups, as we know, water holds memory. And it's like if your emotions are holding memory within your psyche, within your emotional body, energetically, it's going to stay there and it's going to be remembered within your body. And you're going to feel like that, and there's going to feel this feeling of stuckness, even though you don't know why. And then there's a need to go within and purge those emotions out and cleanse those emotions and flow through it. And I say for you, it's very important to flow, because if you hold on to your emotions and push them down, eventually it's going to, come up in a very extreme and forceful way. And I'd say for you, flow is important, because when we think of water, when water gets stagnant, it goes all murky and it just doesn't look nice anymore. So for you to stay healthy is to look at your emotions and to see how that is affecting you in your daily life, and to honor those emotions and allow them to come up and hold a safe space for them to allow the most beautiful healing. So the storyline I see here is, and I'll explain what I see in a bit, more about this. But like, let's say for me, for example, I had certain karmic connections in my life in the beginning of my life that were very harsh on me, like very harsh soul lessons. And I have a lot of water placements in my chart. I have a stellium of Pisces, so I'm very much like more relating to this water pile than my actual rising sign, if that makes sense. But I do relate to my rising signs pile. But it's like when I was in those connections, I looked very drained. I looked almost lifeless, if I had to be completely honest. I didn't look happy. I had like dark circles under my eyes. When I was in those connections, you could see my face wasn't as healthy, but then I didn't look as good. I didn't feel good, so I didn't look good. And I noticed in certain areas of my life where I didn't feel good, then I didn't look good. And then certain areas in my life where I have healthy people around me, and I notice a sort of glow up and my facial features change, and certain times where I feel really good and therefore look good, and it's not necessarily my physical appearance changing, but just the energy changing the way that it looks. Does that make sense? So I feel like for you, the way you feel emotionally can affect your physical appearance. And if you have a lot of negative or harsh people around you that are constantly hurting your feelings or disappointing you, it's going to reflect in your face. So that's what I just say to be wary of. But when we think about it from the opposite end of the spectrum, from a more positive point, when you are feeling something and you're feeling good feelings, like the sense of family, the sense of hope, the sense of joy for the beauty of the world that's around you, when you feel in touch with your heart and love for everything and love for life, you're going to notice that reflect back in your appearance, and you're going to notice a certain glow to you. And not just a glow, this type of look where you look quite hydrated and healthy. and you look like there's life to your face. Does that make sense? So that's what I see on both sides of the spectrum to just be aware of for your pile especially. And the interesting thing I see here as well that I saw in the earth signs pile, because as we know, earth is opposite water. I saw something for them about their emotions also affecting their physical appearance, but in a different way, where it makes sense because when you think of planting a seed, you water it and the water helps the plant bloom. So for your pile, I see it in the opposite way, where maybe earth grounds you and um, helps your soul in some way feel safe in your physical body, because I feel like for especially my water sign risings and water sign stelliums and those that just feel very connected to the water element, there's something about you maybe sometimes feeling out of touch of reality because you are so spiritual and empathetic, that sometimes it can feel hard to connect to human beings, especially if they are a little bit more detached from their emotions. And that's not to say it's bad, it's just you're someone that feels things very deeply and you're someone very deep. Or when you try to connect with people and maybe they don't understand your spiritual side, it can be a little bit difficult to connect and to feel almost like you are a human sometimes, where it's like you may feel like sometimes tasks are mundane or like physical things are just so slow. Whereas, like, I'm thinking of H2O and how fast they swim as mermaids. And I think in the spiritual realms, things happen much faster than here on Earth. It's much denser. So I think when you're around an environment with the King of Pentacles and people that ground you, people that make you feel safe within your emotions, people that are loyal, people that treat you good, and an environment that feels safe, an environment that doesn't feel chaotic or disappointing to be in, an environment that feels vibrant and full of life force energy and full of happiness and joy and love, then you're going to find yourself thriving in that environment. Okay, so I'd say your environment heavily affects you, and in turn, the people around you heavily affect you, and the emotions felt from that environment and the people around you heavily affect you, and therefore heavily affect your physical appearance. So I'd say for you, it's important to be wary to not live in a place where it's quite chaotic or messy. Even if you're not organized, it's like, I think your environment has to feel soothing and peaceful in some way for you to thrive. That's something important. And for you to have people around you that don't feel harsh to your soul, because I think you feel so deeply that any harshness to your soul is not good for you. It can keep you stuck in an energy. And when you think of stuckness in water, we think of murky energies, murky waters. So that's not what you want. And everything I mentioned here is affecting your physical appearance. So what I'd say about you too, I'm also hearing like you have eyes that look like you've seen lifetimes, that look like you've um seen everything in the world, that look like you know everything in the world, like almost like psychic eyes, eyes that seem like they're like staring into my soul. As we know, the eyes are the window to the soul, so that's what I'm picking up here. And I feel like you also have a really much kind of life where you learn from healing your emotions, where you learn from healing your inner child, and you gain a lot of emotional strength and resilience in the early ages of your life. And I see you looking forward and creating goals, and kind of creating your dream life after the healing, or as you are healing, and then as you create the dream life, you start to plant different seeds in your environment and start to build a different environment that feels much more like what you wish for. And that's kind of a theme I see happening within your life, that may affect your physical appearance. Because I see as you start to get the things you wish for and as you start to feel fulfilled, not that you need the things you wish for, but as you start to feel fulfilled and you start to create and live that dream life, you're going to notice like you just look more fulfilled and you look more happy, and you look more vibrant and you look almost like more colorful and like a rainbow. Um, and more at peace, and then that's what people sense from your physical appearance. So why is that coming through in the sense of wishes, Spirit? I feel like you're very in touch with what you wish. And because you're so closely linked to the spiritual realms, the psychic realms with water, you're very in touch with your wishes. You're very in touch with what the future could be and creating that. Because when we think of the spiritual realms and manifestation, when you think of something in the spiritual realms, just like when you lucid dream, it appears immediately. So I feel like you have that within your soul where you almost like wanting to create. And I feel like people almost like pick up the vibe from you that you bring those higher realms down to the earth, and you almost show people how to come back into their heart space and how to come back into their spiritual self and find balance within that. So I see that kind of being a mission for the water risings, and it's not to say that will be your career, but that's kind of the effect you have on others based off your rising sign, and that may be how people view you based off your physical appearance, based off your rising sign. So everything I'm mentioning here is in your rising sign and affects your physical appearance. That's just what I want to say, even if it's about your life story. And there's something here about you also looking like a very family orientated person, looking like a person that loves animals, that loves the earth, that loves people, that is just so sweet, that's just so loving, so connected to your heart. And when you don't have that, it can feel kind of empty and meaningless. So I feel like you almost give off that vibe from your physical appearance, like you create meaning through everything around you. So I'm seeing soft and round lips. And even if you have smaller lips, they could have a kind of curve to them. Soft cheeks too. A face that looks loyal and trustworthy and safe. Some of you could have really curvy bodies, like my woman especially. Or your face could look a little bit like a moon, especially if you're Cancer rising. Or like more voluptuous in your body. Or some of you just have a type of curve to you, even if you're not voluptuous, like my woman especially. I don't want to say this without sounding, I don't know how to describe this in a nice way. Okay, so I would say something that could potentially affect your physical appearance based off your rising sign is, like I went into emotions, but how emotions are held within the body. And when you think of how emotions are held within the body, if we don't clear it, it can build up. So I'm seeing something about a potential weight gain in certain areas of the body where you are holding on to emotion. So say, for example, let's say I grew up in an environment and I'm a water rising that made me feel very much like I'm not worthy of the things I want or love, and that made me feel very insecure within myself. Maybe I'd hold on to those emotions and gain more weight in my stomach, because when we think of the solar plexus, it's the stomach. Or let's say if I grew up in an environment where I felt very stuck and stagnant, and I feel that all over my body. Maybe I'd feel a little bit heavy within my daily life, like a little bit like whenever I try to walk, I feel heavy, even if I'm not physically heavy. I hope that makes sense. Or um, let's say I held a lot of emotions within my heart. Like, let's say I had and experienced a lot of heart pain. Maybe the chest area could gain a little bit more weight. I hope that makes sense. Or the legs. Maybe if I felt like I grew up in an environment where whatever steps I take create no movement, maybe I would hold on to a lot of weight in my legs. Um, or certain traumas too, like around the legs. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm describing it right, but that's something I see. And I'm seeing that thing of like moving your body around to release trauma could be helpful for this pile if you feel that's necessary, since your body holds onto a lot of your emotions. Um, I forgot what it's called, but it's yoga associated to, I don't know if it's yoga, but it's like moving your body associated to releasing emotions stored in the body. And what I will say about this pile is the way you speak to yourself too can influence the way you look. So I'm thinking about that test they did on water where whenever they'd speak negatively to the water would turn out very very not nice. And then when they'd speak kind words to the water, it would turn into these beautiful geometric shapes, and it would look so beautiful. So I'm thinking of like the way you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror and the way you speak to yourself can heavily influence and manifest the way you look. It's like it can spiritually manifest. So that's something I'd say to be careful of. But if you think about it in the good light, you can manifest being so beautiful, so gorgeous, so handsome. Even like the type of way you want to look can be achieved through manifestation, just by seeing yourself that way in the mirror. So if you look at it in a positive light, it's also something good. I see it as like you're a master manifester when it comes to your body, whether you do it positively or negatively. And last thing I'll say is your work can also affect the way you look, the way you feel at work too. And certain cycles, like if you feel like those cycles aren't being honored, that cyclical nature you have, or your emotions, that can influence the way your body and your facial appearance look. Some of you could have eyes that also remind people of the ocean. And something about some of you, like when you touch people, your hands feel more watery. I don't know what that's about. And like a curve to your face, like a softness to your face in the curves. Even if you have more of a square face, it's like there will still be a softness to your chin or to your eyebrows or to your eyes or your nose. That's what I'm seeing here. So this was your reading pile 4. I really hope this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye!